Professor Dr. Gauri Mahulikar ji. She is the Academic Director of Chinmaya International Foundation, which is in Ernakulam, Kerala. She was previously officiating Vice Chancellor and Dean of Faculty at Chinmaya Vishwavidyapeeth. She is also former head of Sanskrit Department, Music, Mumbai University, and former head of Gurudev Tagore Chair of Comparative Literature, Mumbai. Dr. Mahulikar, Gauri ji, I request you to please proceed with your presentation. Thank you.
Thank you. Hari Om to all, and especially Indica's Nagaraj ji and Meg ji for this presentation. Now we have been listening to the talks in the morning. What are the like law books, what do they state about law and ethics and justice? But then how to corroborate that? So we thought we'll take up a case study. And that case study is from the literature, Kalidasa. If you believe in Kalidasa's date as BCE, or the 1st century AD, then he will be closer to the Smritis than what we are today. So has he reflected any knowledge of the Smriti text, so that is a touchstone, a benchmark to judge his expertise as well, we thought. And I thank Dr. Anusha, the assistant here for the academic director in SIF, who has helped me find all these details and references. So with this, this will be on a 3 levels, so to say. One is, the thing is the theft episode in Abhijñānaśākuntalam. So what are the rules and regulations for the theft and the punishment in the ancient text? What is there in the Shakuntalam, and what do the modern Indian Penal Code prescribe? So 3 different time zones and how we are dealing. So an analysis of that briefly, a small episode. So this is in short the scope for the paper. Theft as a crime, its types and its punishment. Then theft from Abhijñānaśākuntalam, analysis, present day methods, and if at all we can draw some conclusion based on all these 3, and especially taking into consideration the Sanatana Dharma and the Smriti text, what is their approach towards the thieves and the punishment given to them. So theft as a crime, or theft as, theft is regarded as one of the 18 legal disputes and matters Manusmriti says. Of that is Steya. Now Steya apparently is a Mahapataka as well, along with Brahmahatya, Surapana, Gurumangana Sangha, and Pataki Samsarga. So this is Steya is regarded as a Mahapataka as well. Now, do we have Steya only in the Smritis, or are there references? Right from the Rigveda, of course, there are Tayu, Taskara, Sena. These are the words which we find. And Vajasneyi Samhita gives you many more, like Amarakosha, Pratirodhi Paraskandi, Patachara Malimblichaha, Chaurika, Stainya Chauryecha, Steyam Loktram to Taddane. So Vajasneyi gives you many more words for that. So what is Steya? Basically, it is unauthorized, unjust possession of another's belonging, another's wealth, another's cattle, another's woman, anything which belongs to other person. And there are, divisions like, are all the thefts similar? Is there a same yardstick to measure the gravity? No, they are of 3 types. So Katyayana, especially Katyayana Smriti says, they are of 3 types. One is, stealing very petty matters like earthen pots, then sunbathing your shayya, not with the silk cloth and, a very normal type of shayya. So these are the petty, chullaka. Then there are madhyama type of stealing, which include clothes other than the silk clothes and animals other than the cattle. Cattle, of course, is a Mahapataka. Stealing cow or buffalo of somebody is a Mahapataka. And a grave, very heinous crime of stealing is stealing gold, silver, precious stones, gems, jewels, silk clothes, cattle, and women of somebody. So these are like a Maha. In the stain also there are 3 categories. And of course, the stay or the theft definition according to Indian Penal Code Article 378, thanks to Google Swami, whosoever intending to movable property. Movable property. Indian Penal Code has added that movable property, though in Katyayana we do come across all these things which are mentioned are movable. He is not mentioning about the vastu or immovable property per se. So possession of any movable property dishonestly, so that is called stay here, that is called theft. And so, I mean, the Hindu law text and the Indian Penal Code are on the same bench as far as the definition is concerned. Now, after seeing what is theft, what is the punishment given to the theft? Of course, the punishment will vary as the criteria or the type of theft will vary. So Manu prescribes capital punishment for stealing, but that capital punishment is not for stealing the petty matters. Of course, when it's considered as Mahapataka, there is corporal punishment, not otherwise. For petty thefts, there is a fine, danda. And that fine could be, 5 times the object stolen. For Shudra, for Vaishya, it is 18 times or 24 times Kshatriya, and then for Brahmana, it is 64 times. Higher Varna, thief, if a thief belongs to the higher Varna, the more higher Varna belongs to, the fine would be more and more. And for that, the Katyayana and Narada, especially Narada Smriti, they are Vidya Vibhushita. They must know what to do and what not to do. If they don't know it, then they deserve punishment to a higher degree. And therefore, their fine is higher. So this he gives in appendix. More learned people, they have to give more fine. Then Katyayana says, for if the Brahmana, suppose he is a Brahmana, highest Varna, then confiscate all his wealth if he is physically weak. Confiscate all his wealth, brand him on some part of his body and just let him go. But on the contrary, if he is a very healthy person, then there is a rigorous punishment. He is jailed and is made to work for the king till the end of his life. So it's not only the thief who is punished, but one who helps the thief, either to hide the booty or, not to divulge any knowledge, any information. If he knows about the thief and, where he has gone, which direction, this, that, and if he doesn't say that to the police officers, then it is as good as helping him in the planning. And therefore, he is also punished. So whosoever commits theft, according to IPC 379, one who commits theft is punished with imprisonment of either description for a term which may extend to 3 years, 5 years, or with fine or with both. So there is imprisonment, fine, or both, depending upon the. Now, after this background check of the Hindu law and IPC, let us turn to the case study proper, the Abhijñānaśākuntalam theft incident. Now, this has a little background. The theft incident occurs in the 6th Act, but it is necessary to see the 5th Act from the connoisseur point of view and to judge that theft episode and the significance of the theft episode brought by Kalidasa at that particular juncture. So the 5th Act begins with Hamsapadika's song, which makes Dushyanta very sad, very despondent, and long for someone, and he doesn't know, he can't figure it out, he can't articulate it, what exactly is the cause of his restlessness, but he does suffer from that. And then Dusyanta's, his mind is stirred up, and then Shakuntala comes, and then the Shakuntala Parityaga, that incident happens. So the 5th Act, very much of happening, but still at the end, it leaves us all with a shade of, dejection and disappointment, and, like very painful it is how Shakuntala, who is pregnant, and his fortune has walked to him, and king could not recognize that, and he just discarded and repudiated her. So this theft episode, immediately after the fifth one, and that too the Praveshaka in the Prakrit, and the police officers having conversation with the thief, and the chief also intervening in between, and the entire conversation brings a total relief from the agonies of the fifth act. So this is a reliever, emotional reliever, so to say. So it has its own poetic justification as far as Kalidasa's drama is being appreciated here. And then this leads to the climax. So this is a very, very important. Of course, I'm not going into how Kalidasa has invented this ring episode and all that, how his genius. This is not a platform to discuss that. But what is the significance of the Dhivara episode, that I think has to be judged on the background of the fifth act. Now the actual sixth act, the Praveshaka starts. The fisherman Dhivara is caught red-handed while attempting to sell a ring. That ring is a Rajamudrika. If those who have read Shakuntalam, they know that in the second act, Dushyanta has given, the third act, Dushyanta has given his ring, which has his letters engraved on that, and he promises Shakuntala, assures rather her that you concentrate on each letter, and within 3 days I will send for you a big retinue and all that stuff. So that Rajamudrika, the Dhivara finds while cutting a Rohita type of fish, and from its belly, from the belly of the fish, the ring comes out, and he just wants to sell it off. While selling it off, the police catch hold of him. Of course, he is not a thief, but he has the guilt of selling somebody else's property which doesn't belong to him. So there is some guilt, there is some sort of aparadha on his part, I mean psychologically, and therefore this needs the psychological analysis as well. Now when a very ordinary common man as a Dhivara is caught, these police officers, not the officer, not the chief, but the subordinates, they also want to exercise their power on him, and they try to threaten him. They abuse him. They handcuff him, first of all. They handcuff him without, despite his charge is not yet proved. They handcuff him, abuse him, and threaten him that Gridhrabalir bhavishyasi shuno mukamba drakshasi. You will be thrown, your flesh will be thrown for Gridhra, for the vultures and the wild animals and birds to be eaten up. Or Shuno Mukham Drakshasi will be buried, till your face, and the wild hounds will eat you up. So these subordinate police, the Suchaka and Januka, they directly question him without any investigation. They directly question him head on the ring. How you caught this? Now how you caught this? You are a culprit and you will have to suffer. You will have to take the punishment. And when the investigation starts, how the investigation should be, I'll come a little later. And then it is confirmed, oh, he is a fisherman. Whatever he has told, that can be identified from the odor of fish, to his entire body. Visragandhi, Godhadi, Matsyabandha eva, that is confirmed later on. And when they ask, Kaha Ajivaha, what is your profession? All these questions are there to be asked while investigating. We'll come to that. Then fisherman tells that he is a Matsyabandhi, and then he is not ashamed of that. When people, just make a mockery, the police people make a mockery of his statement, he very philosophically, very calm and quiet he is. And philosophically he answers, Sahajam kilayat vininditam na khalutad visarjaniyam. Whatever comes as a sahaja karma, by profession, by heredity, that shouldn't be discarded. So he is not at all hesitant about that. And then the chief takes the ring to the Rajakula to have Raja's, the king's verdict on the entire thing. So this is in short that theft episode in the 6th act. Now, Narada Smriti gives very specifically, very systematically, it has developed, a questionnaire sort of thing, how to investigate a crime. So tracing the track of thieves by asking him so many questions. And normally, after asking the questions, we see that the thief has gone somewhere, he's fled out. Then finding him is assigned to the chandalas, to the wanderers, at night. And Manu also says that sometimes you can use the reformed thieves to trace the track of this thief. I think this method is adopted even in the modern days, the modern police also. Reformed ones are those who are like, what you can say, hard and fast thieves, like mohar lagi hai un par, and they have many gangs with them. So they know the smaller thieves, the petty thieves as well. So a thief alone can know the track of another thief. So this is like katyane kata kadne. In Marathi we say that you use a thorn to another thorn, which has pierced in your foot. You use a thorn to take out another thorn. So a suspect, when you are interrogating him about, where do you belong to, where did you go last night, especially what did you do, where do you stay, his identity, Aadhaar card, PAN card, this, that, all his identity and all that. So while answering those questions, if at all that person falters, his color of his face changes, then the statements, whatever he has stated, those could be put to test. The color of change, the Varna Vaisvarya or the Varna Swakara Vedat, Samsaditu, Anivedanat, etc., you can make out that he is a liar or he is speaking the truth. Now, as far as this Dhivara episode is concerned, Dhivara is not at all hesitant about his profession, I said, and he doesn't falter even a single moment, while answering the questions. So one who is really innocent one, who he will not falter while being interrogated. In the presence of the victim and the witnesses, the suspect should be interrogated, because only the police and the victim, then it is not, proved to be authoritative. That has to be done in the front of magistrate. So he should be asked about his identity, location, livelihood, his movements, especially the previous night, etc., etc. And the suspect can be released if the statements are in unison with, if other people, surrounding in his area, they are also questioned. And if there are witnesses and their statements and the suspect's statements, they tally, they are in unison, then he is released. Otherwise, he is put to torture, a third-degree treatment to extract the truth. In fact, Arthashastra gives you, which is also regarded as a smriti, it is given as Mushita Sannidhau, Baihanam, Abhyantaranam, Sakshinam, Abhishastasya, etc., etc., etc. So that is the translation which I provided here, that the statements have to be in unison, otherwise he is, tasya apasara pratisandhane shuddhasyat, anyatha karma praptaha. Whatever you want to do with him, you are free to do. But till then, you have to be patient and you have to listen to the suspect. While analyzing the theft episode in Shakuntala, on the lines of this interrogation style, do we find any variation, or is it in coordination with the smritis? See, first of all, the man is brought handcuffed, he's taunted, is abused. So that impatience of the subordinate police is seen throughout. Nowhere they have followed the interrogation style. On the other hand, they humiliate him and accuse him by saying Kumbhiraka. Kumbhiraka, Patachara, Granthibedaka, all can be translated as thief. These could be used as the synonyms, but they have different meaning, variation of meaning. Kumbhiraka, for example, is, Kumbham Bheti, like Kumbha is a wall. He breaks the wall. So he is a burglar, you can say. Patachara, Patayan Charati iti, he is a robber, and Granthi Bhedaka is a cut purse. Granthi Bhedaka is a cut purse. So there are different variations in these, and these police officers, I mean the police subordinates, they accuse him and they hit him despite any evidence and all. Just to have a shortened summary of this, the rules and treatment given in Shakuntalam. Good knowledge of the law of land has to be there with the police department, and that perhaps Kalidasa has reflected, because Manu says Mukhyanam Chaiva Ratnanam Harane Vadamarhati. So he is found with the Mukhya Ratna, that to the Anguliyaka, the ring of the king. So he has to be hanged. He has to be punished with corporal punishment. That perhaps they know very well. But clarity of the legal procedure, the investigation and all, there is none here. The grasp of validity of evidences, the chief later on feels the necessity to interrogate him, to intervene. Hearing the victim, or hearing the suspect is very essential, which is done at a later stage. Then handling of suspect with understanding of their psyche, that is lacking. That modern law would advise, but then that is lacking here. Section 313 of Code of Criminal Procedure, accused has to be heard. So that is also lacking. It's only at a later stage he is heard. Then even today, when this is the situation, can we judge it on the modern scenario? Even today, the scenario hasn't changed much despite the rules and regulations for that. A commoner, especially a dhivara, because he might be illiterate, he is good at his profession, but not an intellectual person, and therefore such people are treated in a very humiliating manner even today by the police. So this is somewhere to exercise their power over the weaker ones. So he is weaker in a sense, not physically, but weaker as the strata of the society also, and therefore the impatient police would even now try to harass such weaker victims. So this leads us to the police conduct or misconduct. It's then and now, it hasn't much changed, accountability for police, it hasn't much changed. So this misconduct and the failure, this is taken from the internet. So, there is the widespread belief that the police functions with impunity and officers are rarely held to account for their acts of omission and commission is breaking the faith of the public in the police. That is so very true even today. So perhaps, through that fear for the police, the dhivara also, kept a very low sort of position, and he was not at all aggressive or assertive. So modern law does not prescribe torture or third-degree treatment, and Mitakshara on Yajnavalkya says none should be punished merely on the doubt. You should investigate and before penalizing the innocent. I'm reminded of the story of Animandavya Katha, which comes in the Mahabharata. So, without any fault of his, he was severely punished by the king, and for which he had to suffer later on. So
punishment to the innocent person, this involves, this is really that portion where the ethical conduct of the ruler, of the jurisprudence, the system as such, it is held accountable here. So, and it was Animandavya again, who later on, he was told that because of some crime in his earlier birth, when he was just a bala, he had, harassed one, the butterfly or, caterpillar. And that is the punishment which he got in this birth. So it was like the karma law, but then he changed that. So it is very revolutionary that before 14 years of age, the crime should not be considered as a crime and it should not be punishable crime. So that is the juvenile jurisprudence also in that matter. Animandavya Katha is very, very important. On the other hand, see, the innocent person should not be punished, but the person who is really has committed the crime, he should not be released just because he pleads he's innocent. So both ways, the law has to take care, the via media of that. So humans, and because, it's very human quality. Humans are Daiva Asura Sampat Vibhaga. They are equipped with Daivi Sampat as well as Asuri Sampat. Every one of us has Asuri Sampat as well. And the power brings out only the Asuri Sampat to the forefront, like in the case of Januka and Suchaka. So the police, to provoke the suspect in many ways, Purato mama hastavasya vadyasya sumanaso badhum, he will be taken to the gallows now, and I am, my hands are throbbing like to garland him with the red flowers which were customary, So the suspect, however, doesn't lose his composure, his calm, even in those troubled situations. And that could be to avoid further assault, physical or verbal. And secondly, he knows that he is innocent. So here comes that psychological aspect for which the Smritis have prescribed divyas. Divyas is one such part which touches directly to the psyche of a person. So he knows that he is innocent and therefore he is not afraid. And secondly, to avoid further verbal assault and all, he is keeping his composure. And when the Rajakula, the chief takes the ring to the Raja, and Raja, gets very moved by that and offers some prize money. And when the chief offers that prize money to the Purusha, to the Dhivara, he on his own wants to share it, half of it. So that also shows that though poor, that is his contentedness. He is happy. He doesn't want all that booty for himself. He wants to share it with his newly acquired friends. But sarcastically though, he would ask now one question. Bharataha atha kidrisho me ajivaha? How do you feel my livelihood now? Earlier you were criticizing that I was just a fisherman. Now how do you find my livelihood, my profession? So that sarcasm, any man is not, devoid of such sarcastic comments at the proper time. And then he says, Bhattarakaitaha ardham yushmakam sumano mulyam bhavatu. Now the word sumana, a very characteristic of Kalidasa to have used very appropriate words in place. Sumana means flower. Sumana means good mind. So you are such good people. See, if the chief had willed, while coming back from the Rajakula, he would have taken half of the amount and in his pocket before he offered that prize money to the Dhivara. So this is Sumano Mulyam, for your good will and for your good mind. And Sumana, whatever Sumana you wanted to tie as a garland in my neck. So this is that Sumano Mulyam. So there is a pun on this word. The Adhyatmika, or this what psychological element I have been saying, so change in the behavior of the two subordinate policemen before the interrogation or before the prize money was given to Dhivara, and after the prize money is given, there is drastic change, lot of difference. So first of all, they are threatening him, Gridhra Bali Bhavishyasi, Shuno Mukham Vadrakshasi, and all that. It's all a power play on their part. They feel they are superior and he is inferior and weaker compared to them. But now, yes, I'm coming to end this and the last now. So, but after the prize money is given, Esha Yamasadanam Pravishya Pratinivrittaha, they are envious of him. Oh, he has as if touched the Yama's place and has come back. And from Shula, he has been taken down and he is mounted now on the elephant back. So they are little bit, envious of his fortune. So Asuyaya Pashyati, that is typical human nature. And and now, when he has got that money. Everybody wants him to share. I mean, though without words, the Devar also can make out, he can read their minds that they would expect some share from that booty, and therefore, because success has many fathers. So when he is released ceremoniously with that prize money and all that, they would like to share something from them, from that prize. So coming to the end, I wanted to integrate in this manner that all our text, be it on ethics and law or Veda and Vedanta, and take any Vidya for that matter, it is always aimed at the human welfare on 3 levels. It is Adhyatmika, Adhidaivika and Adhibhautika. How Adhyatmika, Adhidaivika and Adhibhautika could be like traced in this theft episode. I'm just saying it. I mean, this could be far-fetching, but I thought we can have a solid conclusion to this matter. The Vyavahara sections, Achara, Vyavahara, Prayashchitta are the 3 sections, right, of the law books. So Vyavahara sections of all the Smriti texts, they address all these 3 Adhidaivika, etc. And for example, when they are giving danda or fine or rigorous punishment, it is very, very adhibhautika type of punishment. But the moment the innocent person is asked to do the divya, it becomes adhidaivika. And while doing that divya, there are so many divyas which are prescribed. Ayaspindavat, that is referred to by Shankaracharya also in his Shariraka Bhashya. So for that, the psychological probings and the deliberations going in the mind of the victim or the suspect, they are taken into consideration. So this is the Adhyatma. Adhyatma is not just spirituality. Adhyatma also means psychological workings. So the fisherman is innocent, but he is guilty in selling the ring which doesn't belong to him. And this, our Smriti texts call as Aswami Vikraya. Agni Purana has it, Narada Smriti has it, so Nikshiptam va Paradravyam, etc. So he is definitely guilty, if not for stealing, for Aswami Vikraya. And therefore perhaps his karma, his prarabdha, had him suffer at these 2 police men, at least verbally. So the danda would exercise its power. Dando rakshati rakshitaha, dharmo rakshati rakshitaha will exercise its power on subtler ways as well. So this way the ethics becomes inseparable from justice. So that is the end of this. I just wanted to end with a verse, as long as in the Satya Yuga or Krita Yuga, the dharma was followed by everybody, there was no vyavahara needed at all. Nashte dharme manushyanam vyavaharaha pravartate. And for all the vyavaharas, Raja Dandadhara Smritaha. Hari Om. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Mahulikar.